Why are you all smiling? I don't like that.
Because that's probably what Eulmore's doing.
Here in the shadow of the
That's
northern
probably
ranges
how they control the city.
lay the great kingdom of Verbert. A nation with a proud history that the Sin Eaters cut short, just like all the rest. Since that time, these lands have become a haven for Fae folk. Dreamers frolicking amidst the ruins of a forgotten realm.
Mheg.
We should be safe enough here. It's good to see you again, my friends. I don't know about you, but it feels like years since last we met. 5 of them in my case.
Why, it only feels like 1 to me, but long enough to warrant a more convivial reunion either way. What brought you to Laxon Loft?
The girl, Minfilia, she and I were traveling together, hunting Sin Eaters. But as we were nearing Lakeland, she abruptly ran off on her own. I found her too late to stop the Eulmorans from taking her prisoner. And as I was considering rescue options, I observed that the Crystarium was on the move. So I consulted the Exarch, who apprised me of the details of the operation and issued me certain instructions. Should the situation take a turn for the worse, I was to see you all safely to Mheg. And here we are.
Dad Cred isn't mad, he's just disappointed.
Urianger has called this place home for a while now, yet we have never called upon him, I am ashamed to say. 'Twas only at the Crystarium that we met.
Hardly surprising. This is not the sort of place one visits on a whim.
One does not simply walk into Mheg. Apparently.
Happily, having trespassed on Urianger's hospitality for a spell,
Just,
Minfilia and I have an
take on
idea
that
of how things
whole
work around
flying
here.
on the birds. I forgot what they're called in this game.
Which birds? The Chocobo birds, Amaro bird dragons.
Amaro, yeah. Plot hole.
Sooner or
She's
later, the
smaller than
Eulmorans will
Amaro.
come after us. But before they do, the Exarch bids us accomplish 2 things. First, rendezvous with Urianger.
Do you also have to get fairies on our side or something?
And second, eliminate the Light Warden of
We
this
also
land.
need somebody with an axe.
Oh yeah, that is a very critical juncture. The light, I mean, not the axe. I don't know why. Why would we need someone with an axe?
And my
So,
axe.
Ah, right, references.
What made you leave Thancred behind, if you don't mind me asking?
You. The hero from another world. I was asleep when I felt it. A presence. Someone I was meant to meet. They were close and I knew I had to go to them.
Oh, here we are.
But with all the commotion in Lakeland, I was afraid that Thancred wouldn't let me.
Did you ask?
And would I have been wrong? Had I arrived a moment later, you would be back in your cell in Eulmore. And now we have Ranjit snapping at our heels.
Seems that
You
she
really
had,
outdone
and
yourself this
yes,
time.
that is an angry dad cred. Also,
I'm sorry.
jeez,
Thank you for saving me.
the way I don't know about the English because I'm listening in Japanese, but the way Minfilia talks, it sounds like she's being abused by Cred.
I'm not gonna
Exactly
even
the
begin
case,
to
but-
question how you know this, but I'm just gonna move on from that topic.
Excessive meekness. Like, excessive.
Oh, poor thing being scolded so.
Ah, shite, we've entered Ireland.
Poor thing.
Who said that? Show yourselves.
Come now, put away that frown and have some fun with us. Yes, let us have some fun. Lots and lots of fun.
It sounds like a preschool in the Japanese.
Which way was it to Urianger's?
We've been there so many times, but I can't. Why can't I remember?
Damn it all. We're already caught in their spell.
I'm guessing fairies are the counterparts of sylphs in the first.
I mean, they call Longfellows dwarves, so they're just going for, Western terminology, it seems.
Maybe. Mheg is a fairy king.
I told you it was gonna be glam.
Yep. Mheg is a fairy kingdom, and as one might expect, it is home to the Fae folk. The most prominent among them are the pixies, who have a penchant for making mischief. They use powerful illusions to play tricks on all who venture into their domain. By way of an example, they can make a familiar path seem wholly unfamiliar, or lead you to believe somewhere you're not. And we are now, I am sorry to say, entirely at their mercy. As it stands, we cannot hope to find a way to Urianger. For that, we must convince the pixies to lift the spell. From what I could make of the voices, the creatures want to play with us. If that is the case, they should permit us to find their village. Lead our run. Come, I have a sneaking suspicion this path will lead us directly into their midst. Oh, and I should mention that Minfilia has been informed of our situation, of the different worlds in our mission. You may consider her an ally. Whee! Well, here we are, yet the pixies are nowhere to be seen. Knowing them, their games have already begun, in which case... Green, there's a variety of plant native to these parts with a distinctive furrowed tip. Looking Grass is its name, so called because it can be used to spy pixies, believe it or not. I'll explain how I know all this later. First, I need you to help me find some. Oh, if a voice calls to you, under no circumstances should you respond. You'll only subject yourself to further mischief. Staying silent is one of the Warrior of Light's best skills.
This is why I don't move. You don't talk to them, Slime. I just wanted to see what would happen.
What happened? What did you do?
Don't look at my status.
Heavy! Oh, Will is not... Fairy magic taken, Will is not entirely... Where the hell are you? Ah, there you are. Oh, it's okay, so you're just heavied. Good job, Kier. I take it you met with some trouble. Apologies for subjecting you to that. And I assume from your presence that you managed to find us some looking grass. Possessed of a furrowed tip, this peculiar plant can apparently be used to see hidden pixies. Yes, this is the stuff. Thus armed, we should be able to see through the pixies' veil of invisibility, and seeing them is the first step to dealing with them. Come, let's gather everyone and put Urianger's little trick to good use. You know, out of all the people, I think Urianger would have just talked them to death. Until the pixies just gave up.
That.
Farasitha, Krakleath.
this mortal know our trick.
Wait! I recognize their souls. These two have been here
Also,
before.
we were wrong about being tilts.
Look, twins! How adorable!
Oh,
Lee, with us!
We have neither the
Literally,
time nor
Pixie
inclination
makes
to
me
play.
know better,
We have
especially
come
since
to
we've
see
already met
Urianger.
Pixie.
Yep.
oh yes, Urianger, the peculiar one. In return for a place in Mheg, he agreed to a riddle contest with us for 7 days and 7 nights without any sleep.
So who won?
Oh, that was so much fun! We must do it again!
I'm sure he'd be delighted.
Spoilers, I guess.
Now, if you'd be so kind as to lift your spell.
Urianger?
Shall we?
Should we?
Would we?
I mean, he won't shut up, so.
What now?
True.
I don't know, but this is their home, so we must indulge them.
Right, we've made up our minds. We will lift our spell on one condition: that you first lend us a helping hand. Or 2, or 3. Once you've helped solve all of our troubles, we'll let you see Urianger, Pixie's honor.
I'm not sure if that means much. Help quest, let's go!
Well, there you have it. Pixie chores. I suggest we split up.
As long as they're nothing like Moogle chores.
We gotta help the crocodiles wash their underwear.
That's a very out of context sentence.
Oh, I'm referencing Joe Cat.
Ah. Ooh, look at me, look at me. I have a task for you. Lida runs our beloved village, and we all wanted to always look lovely. And it can't look lovely without flowers blooming, and no flowers bloom lovelier than Everblooms. So here are some Everbloom seeds. Take them and sow them here, there, and everywhere around the village. Simple as a dimple, yes? Mortal, hear my plea. Our precious children are thirsty, and I need you to bring them water. Who are our children, you ask? Why, they're the leafmen you see standing about our village. Adorable, aren't they? Now, you'll need to go to Longmirror Lake to draw the water. Once you have that, you'll see that our children have a good drenching. Oh, but be warned, the Fwath make their home in the lake. They tend to play rough, so take care. Ugh, I'm so hungry I may faint. Fruit, a little fruit will set me alright. Will you go and fetch some for me? Just outside the village you'll find a hillock. 2 great bell trees grow there. If you just give them a shake, they should render up their sweet, succulent burdens. You've given water to our children. Thank you ever so much. They're all very dear to us. They wandered into Eulmore as stray mortals, but we grew attached to them and decided to take him in. Oh, well, that's fucking
Oh
morbid.
no.
You and yours would have been our children too, but the enchantment didn't catch as well as we'd hoped. It's never too late, of course. You done sowing the seeds? Thank you. This'll help Litraran live up to its name, which means flower house in case you weren't aware. We weren't always here, you know. We used to live deep in the lush forest. It was so beautiful beyond compare, but it was almost all of it was swallowed up by the light. For a while we roamed, and eventually we found a place that men had abandoned. Together with our fellow faithfolk, we decided to make it our new home. Land of everlasting spring, this is our home. It could be yours too, forever, and ever, and ever. Oh, so hungry. Did you get the fruit? Oh, thank you ever so much. You've saved me. Yeah, saved me from my boredom. You should have seen the look on your face when the bugs came down. Ah, you've done me a great service, mortal. If there's one thing we pixies are serious about, is having fun. Dull and painful things, hate them. Sin eaters are dull and painful, Belle, so we hate them especially. You mortals trying to fight those monstrosities, but there's no fun in that. Best to avoid them altogether, we say. Tancred looks just like you feel. I'll go, Sir Green. So, a mix of menial tasks and pranks. Yes, that pretty much sums up my own experience. They have no troubles worthy of the name. How long are we supposed to keep at this? They're clearly playing with us. Indeed. Whenever I inquire how much more there is to be done, the answer is all ever the same. A little. I doubt they have any intention of releasing us in the near future. Urianger was told me a story about the pixies.
I found a sightseeing log.
Ooh. They're both from the souls of those who died as children, or so it's believed. Though they don't have memories of their previous lives, the desire to have fun remains, imprinted on their souls. So they live only to play, keeping hapless mortals with their pleasure for years on end, sometimes even until death. In the past, when I sought to identify the true nature of ghosts, I came upon literature examining a similar subject. The soul was likened to a core that resides in the ether, and its presence is what differentiates us from such beings such as sprites and arcane entities. Upon death, said core ordinarily dissipates alongside the ether that composes the flesh. However, it may be held together and bound to the corporeal realm, either by the will of its owner or by means of certain arts. In time, the soul may regather ether onto itself to assume another form, or find newly emerged life in which to abide. The pixies may be one such instance of this. If ghosts are merely souls without bodies, what does that make us? I think you become what which you fear most, brother dearest. However the pixies may have come into being, if we leave them to judge when they are satisfied, they will never be satisfied. Nay, we must negotiate new terms with the creatures, but where to begin? It seems to me we need at least one among them to sympathize with us. In the course of your chores, did any of you encounter a pixie who seemed even faintly amenable to reason? Fail. What? You knew a pixie from before? Not only are you acquainted, but you've entered into a pact. You might have mentioned this sooner. At any rate, I dare to hope this will offer us a way out. Without further delay, then, summon this Fail Ool, if you please. A voice rings out in your mind. So, my sapling has finally remembered about his lovely branch. With such half-hearted call, he may as well lock me off and cast me aside. I have no sapling. I did not say anything about a cake. You may have been misled. They say it was you. I plead the fifth. Is that your idea of a fervent call? A sodden log could do it with much more fire.
I can't get the thing to do the thing.
You're late! Late!
I take responsibility for nothing.
I've been waiting for you to summon me ever since you came here. Waiting and waiting and waiting. But my sapling didn't so much as utter my name. Such a heartless thing he is. Cold and cruel and heartless!
Sorry?
Another self-important little brat. Just what we need.
Reminds me of my childhood. All right, I'm sorry. It was a joke. Honestly, just a joke.
But just now you called for me so earnestly, so fervently. I couldn't possibly stay angry at you. Very well. As your lovely branch, I will lend you my strength.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Theo Ool, the mold feel. It's been too long.
Not long enough for you to think of any new games, though, apparently. If I were you, I'd be bored of myself. Now let me make something clear. That mortal is mine. No matter what you do, he will never be yours. Never, never, ever!
Oh, not even a bit. But what about the others? Surely we can keep them.
No, you can't keep them either. They're for my amusement and mine alone. And if you lay so much as a finger on my sapling, I'll scatter the contents of his bag all over your precious village.
No, not the contents of my bag. It's already full as is.
There'll be cold, hard metal, furry, festering food.
It's only 14 Marin Glaces.
Sweaty small clothes and all manner of other terrible, unmentionable things. How would you like that, hmm?
Hey, I need those seeds to garden.
All right. But will you not at least let us play with the twins? Just while the others go and see Urianger?
Same, you should also see my inventory.
That's all we ask. And we promise we'll play nicely.
It seems we won't be joining you.
Aye! We'll reveal the hidden Vernick to you at once.
Wow, it looks much better without the blinding mist.
So this is the true Mheg.
How are you feeling?
Better. I think I remember the way now.
Apologies for the delay. Shall we go and see Urianger?
Your lovely branch is useful, yes? So whenever you're in trouble, you must remember to make use of me!
The moral of this story is when there's rowdy children causing you trouble, the solution is to send a second, rowdier child after them. For all we know, than Alice's sakes, let us be quick. It'd be a shame to return only to find that they have been made to play one game too many. Now, the place we seek is the abandoned manor of a nobleman and a scholar, the Bookman's Shelves it's called. After the fellow's vast collection of tomes, an agreeable habitat for a friend, I'm sure you'll agree. If we follow the path north, we should soon find a place. Come along. And here we are at long last. I give you Urianger's humble abode. Come, let's see if he's home.
I hope you're ready for high resolution models.
Oh no. Oh yes, very high resolution.
Urianger, are you in?
Unto a world weary of heroes, a hero wends his way. The Exarch did send word that thou wouldst seek me out, but ne'er did I imagine thou wouldst arrive so soon. Full glad am I to see thee once more, my friend, and none the worse for thy travails.
Yay, it's Urianger. I think he became an astrologian.
Run along, Minfilia. We will meet you
Seems
outside.
so.
But
Another one for you to imbue.
Yeah,
if you say.
let's just send Minfilia outside where she's even more in danger.
Yeah, that's not Thancred's best idea.
Everyone calls him Dad, but he's very bad at the dad bit.
Agreed.
I take it thou hast met with our other comrades already? That Master Alphino and Mistress Alize now travel in thy company is of great comfort to me. As for the rest, it beginneth in earnest. The hunting of the Light Wardens, and perforce the war with Eulmore. Hark thee then to my words, and through them behold the vision that I did glimpse, that of the 8th umbral calamity. As I drifted hither to the first, traversing the boundary twixt reality and potentiality, I did bear witness to events yet to come. There I saw the combined forces of Eorzea and the Far East offering fierce resistance to the legions of Garlemald. So fierce, in fact, that they did begin to push the enemy back. Ilm by painful ilm at first, then Yalm by Yalm, and Malm by Malm in time. Yet the joy they felt was short-lived, for in so doing they did force the Empire's hand. Faced with defeat, the Garleans turned to a weapon most vile: Black Rose. Its potency defied all reckoning. Once released, the gas took on a life of its own, wreaking untold carnage not only in Eorzea, but in the provinces of the Empire besides. From fighters upon the front lines to babes in their beds, none were spared. And as the casualties became too numerous to count, so did the fabric of civilization begin to unravel. Nor did the land itself escape unscathed. For spreading from the site of its release, Black Rose brought death to the very soil. To survive amidst the chaos and upheaval, men came to live by the sword, the rule of law giving way, inevitably, to the rule of might. Thus was the spark struck and the fire kindled, and swiftly did it spread as a blaze in a field of straw to engulf every corner of the world. Nations worthy of the name did then cease to exist, and those souls brave and true who might have risen to restore order
Been a while since I got bots.
Were no more. For the weapon spared not one, not even thee. An endless age of war, begotten by the blight of Black Rose. Such is the legacy of the 8th umbral calamity which I did behold. No matter the cost, we must forestall this tragedy. To that end, I have labored during my sojourn in this world, discovering in so doing the answer to a pressing mystery. That of Black Rose's inexplicable potency. Come. Dost thou recognize yonder chart?
Yeah, it's the Magia board from Eureka. The chart of the elements.
Indeed. 'Tis a rendering of the elemental wheel, such as one might find in classrooms across the source. As the chart maketh plain, our world is composed of 6 elements, in addition to which there exist 2 poles in fundamental opposition. Astral, the active; umbral, the passive. As a reflection of the source, the first naturally compriseth the selfsame forces. Yet, curiously, there is a notable divergence in their nomenclature. To be specific, the denizens of this world employ not the terms astral and umbral. Thus was I moved to inquire what names said forces had been assigned. A simple question which yielded a most unexpected answer. Upon demanding the name of the pole aligned with activity and growth, I was told that as life's myriad colors combine to produce black, the people of the first had called it darkness. At this, did my mind begin to race. Yet 'twas only when I asked what name had been given to the pole aligned with passivity that mine eyes were opened to the truth. Peace and tranquility being as purest white, unmarred by color, I was told it had been given the name of light.
That's umbral light and astral darkness, yes? I'm no etherologist, but it strikes me that the nomenclature of the first is rooted in the generation of the 2 forces, while our own appears to focus on their effects. Which makes one wonder, have we had it backwards all this time?
'Tis indeed a compelling question, and one which beareth closer examination. Yet what knowledge we already possess sufficeth to explain the chain of events. The phenomenon of etheric thinning observed in the source is the consequence of light, the power of stasis, flowing in from the first to stifle the movement of ether within the land. And according to Master Alphino, Black Rose slayeth by halting the circulation of ether within living beings. Should such a weapon be unleashed even as the first were rejoined, replete as it is with light,
We would have a disaster of untold proportions on our hands. A calamity. Well, at least we have a better grasp of what we're facing. Our objective, however, remains unchanged. We are to eliminate the Light Warden of Mheg. Speaking of which, were you able to ascertain its whereabouts?
Aye. 'Tis all but certainly ensconced within Leergia, the castle which standeth in the midst of the lake. To enter said stronghold, we must needs turn to the Pixies for aid. Fortunately, I have become quite adept at courting their cooperation. Henceforth shall I accompany you, and do all in my power to ensure that my vision doth not come to pass.
Party member gained. My friend, ere I speak of the task at hand, there is a question I would pose to thee. What thinkest thou of mine appearance? Did you take up astrology? Indeed, though the night be lost behind a shroud of blinding light, doubt not that the stars shine still. I have chosen to avail myself of their guidance, that I might navigate the sea of uncertainty that stretches before us. For a blessing, my prior studies of astrology did provide me with adequate grounding in the art. But enough of myself. Let us now speak of our task. As I did mention, if we are to enter Leergia, we must needs gain the Pixies' cooperation. It is a simple matter of presenting unto them a suitable gift. I shall procure a selection of vivens that shall please their palates. Thancred, pray assist me in this endeavor. Meanwhile, Green, I bid thee obtain that which will please their eyes. In these parts there abideth the vilekin known for his beauteous wings, the hawker. I shall send thee a receptacle with which thou mayest capture a weakened specimen. Right on, to capture a weakened specimen we go.
Luckily, it's conveniently right outside the door.
Why is there a dead white mage on the doorstep?
Can't imagine why.
Thou art returned. Wert thou able to capture a hawker? Even without the box's enchantment to hold it in place, the creature has no more fight left in it. Ah, a truly magnificent set of wings. I shall treat them at once to make fast their vibrant colors. Thancred too should return anon, which I shall ready all the items for presentation. Pray take thine ease meanwhile.
"'Tis done. The Pixies shall be well pleased with these gifts. Ah, lest I forget. White auracite, newly forged for thy use.
He knows what's up.
Our mission being to thwart a rejoining, we will most assuredly cross paths with those who crave the contrary, our eternal enemies. Thus did I choose to abide in this ether-rich land, the better to fashion a trap for the Ascian's essence.
Try saying that 5 times fast.
May I come in now?
You may indeed, assuming you've finished.
You came in. Why are you asking now?
Well, she can't ask unless she's inside, now can she?
Has she
That's
ever
my girl.
knocking?
What's she imbuing? Bullets?
I should probably explain. Though my body remained behind in the source, its limitations saw fit to accompany me. Which is to say, I cannot manipulate ether.
Oh.
I took up the gunblade for its defensive advantages, but on account of my little impairment, I cannot imbue the ammunition myself. Luckily for me, Minfilia has quite a talent for it.
Yay!
Minfilia,
Workarounds.
once we set forth, we are not like to return for some while. If thou wouldst choose tomes to take with thee, let it be now.
Really? May I?
Of course, my dear. Yet have care thou dost not add overmuch to thy burden, lest I incur Thancred's ire. Hast thou spoken to him of thine encounter with the Minfilia of Eld?
Well, I suppose now is as good a time as any. As you know, I freed young Minfilia from captivity in Eulmore some 3 years past. Not long after, the two of us journeyed to the south of Armareng, to the edge of the Empty, where the flood was halted. 'Twas there that she awakened. The Minfilia of old. My Minfilia.
Did I call it?
Echo powers activate.
Tell me.
My dearest Thancred, as I am now, I am no different from an Ascian. This child is but a vessel. One of many I have used that I might spread word of her enduring blessing and preserve the flame of hope. In my name, each has died, never having lived her own life. I have taken enough from these children. I will take no more.
But what of your suffering? Your sacrifice? This isn't fair! I will not stand for it. I cannot! There must be something we can do. Tell me!
Should the day come when this child grows weary of fighting and wishes to cast it all aside, then shall I take up her burden. But should she wish instead to become the master of her own destiny, then shall I bequeath to her my all. Imbued with the strength that I reserve for rebirth, she may come to wield my powers as her own.
And what of my wishes? What of Flamine's? What of all the people who love and care for you and want nothing more than to see you again?
It is not their decision to make. It is hers. This child's. This Minfilia's. You have ever watched over me, Thancred. Now I ask that you do the same for her. Protect her. Teach her. Stand by her as you stood by me. There is much and more she does not know. She needs a guide to show her the ways of the world, or she will never find her own path. When the time comes, you will find me here. Until that day.
Minfilia, wait!
happened?
And then she was gone. Minfilia, the girl, claims to have no recollection of any of it. I have told her many things. Where we came from, what we fight for. But of that day, I have not spoken.
How do you want this to end?
With the coming of another possessed of the blessing of light, the first hath begun to rise up in defiance of its fate. The question remaineth, however, who shall take up the flame of hope which Minfilia hath borne for so long? Whether we will it or no, the choice must soon be made.
Unfortunately, we can't actually control when the echo happens. Very inconvenient.
I'm sorry I took so long. It was so hard to choose. In the end, I settled on just the one.
That is well. Now, if all is in order,
What
let
about
us
me?
set forth for Lida Loran.
You can make characters have flashbacks on command, apparently.